Yo, what's up? Good morning, good morning. We're gonna dive into it soon. I just have to say that this will be this year's last stream. I won't be able to allocate the time slots I need in the coming 2 weeks, to properly stream. So this is going to be this year's last stream, and I was hoping to be able to tie or to finish some stuff. We have a lot of things or issues open, but I guess we will just have to finish them next year. Okay, but today we are finishing off, or getting close to finishing the activity texture. Let's see what we currently have. I think we've had a working activity texture for a while now, or this full week, or for the bigger part of this week. It's just that we want to make it a little bit more optimized and figure out what we want to store and what we want to visualize to properly utilize this one. Yes. So, at the end of last stream, we had a or not so much a problem, but this one annoys me a bit. And it's basically this. So every object or every entity we want to render consists of multiple renderers, and we set activity properties here in a property block per entity renderer. But every entity renderer should actually use the same. So every renderer for this entity should use the same properties. So it just feels a little bit weird to set this property block per entity renderer instead of just having one. But maybe it's not that bad. I was wondering if we could, so if we have command buffer, draw mesh. So if we draw mesh instead, then you can send in a material property block here. It would be nice to be able to do something similar, but with draw renderer. Or if we could set it in material. New. The block passed to graphics render mesh or render set property block is copied, so the most efficient way of using it is to create one block and reuse it for all draw mesh calls. So entity activity properties, would that mean that it would be better to have one material property block in terrain base, for instance, and use that one instead? Because when we set it, it's copied. Yeah, I don't know if this is the best. Example of this. So new material property block, set property block is copied. So how we want to do this? Terrain base. Yeah, we probably want set property block. So we probably want to have the property block here then. Guess we would put it somewhere here. But still, we're gonna have to do set property block per entity renderer, but might be okay. So could we do command buffer, terrain projection matrix? Yeah, we need to get the velocity. Yeah, so we don't want to do this here. We want to remove this one. Like this. So in terrain base we have this one. Let's do new here. So per terrain patch, per entity here we want to do something. We want to do this one pretty much. We want to take this one, we want to set vector velocity, and we want to set entity dot velocity. So we set it once here, and then yeah, per entity render we're gonna have to set property block, and then this one is copied here. Still setting it per renderer, but I guess makes sense. Hopefully we will get the exact same result, but now a little bit way less. So now we only have, so instead of having one material property block per entity, we have one material property block per terrain base, so it's just one, and we reuse that one, but that doesn't seem to work. So what is not set here? Okay, let's try and do this then. Okay, that's pretty cool. So one material property block instead of, okay, so previously we had X material property blocks where X is the number of entities. Now we just have one. And then we set it per render. Okay, so that's pretty nice. Okay, I want to be able to show, we should do, so currently we do, let's see here. I'm also interested in draw renderer. Like if we take draw renderer and draw mesh. Okay, that's okay. Okay, so we're currently running with this one. I think. Am I able to change this one on the run? I don't think so. I wonder. Let's try it. Okay, so we have this. We currently output direction color here. Height min color, activity height boundary. Y. Probably want to do X here. This height min color. Yo, what's up? Good morning, Geralt. Redefinition. Yeah, we want to call this one max. This is what bothers me, that is it that this one, we don't get the correct value here anymore. So changing something here screws it up. Okay, let's do this then. Okay, let's just do it like this for now. Grid line width, do we even use this one? Yeah. Okay, test A. Direction, height min, height max. Direction strength here. Yeah. Fuck. I just want to quickly be able to check these values if they look okay. This one, the flickering we get here as well. Not a big fan of that. Test A. So if we go 1.1. Do we have then? 1.1 should be minimum color. Yeah, we don't get anything here because we start out with 0, so we never write to this one because we never write anything that is smaller than 0. And here we have max height. I'm a little bit max height, I think yeah, seems like we're just writing 1 all the time, so that's not good. Why is that? And then we have the last one with the direction strength, I think. Seems like we're going with 1 all the time here as well. Okay. So when we output this one, what do we do? Inverse lerp between height range. Yeah, we never set height range, so if it is... And we never set velocity range either, so... Yeah, might want to do that. So this one is 0 and 1, this one is 0 and 1 by default, I think. Well, actually, no, it's 0, 0 by default. Which means that we always get 1. Okay. So we're gonna do this. Terrain base. Terrain activity material. Set. Vector. This one, I don't actually know what we're gonna set it to eventually, so let's just do 0, 1 to begin with. Oh no, did I screw? Ah, this works. Okay. And here we do 1.1 minimum. We don't draw anything here but 2. Yeah, now it looks like... So this is maximum height. And it's between 0 and max height that we can have on the terrain. Maybe we want to go a little bit bigger or smaller on this one, but for instance, if we would be doing 0.5, 0.5, 0.5 on this one, it's not as bright anymore. Can we do 0.2, 0.2, 0.2? Looks to be all right. I guess we could also okay, looks pretty cool. Guess we can also do enable all of these. Oh, they are pretty big right now though, so but if we take this one and we change it to 2.1, I probably want to make height range. Yeah, we probably want to make that one bigger. 3.1. Okay, so this is velocity strength, and this one is good. Velocity strength between 0 and 1. I don't know about this. Did I spawn them all? Okay. Why does it seem like we're spawning all... That's definitely not correct. Let's see. 128, 64, 64 center. Position. Yeah, this one fails. Jesus. What the fuck? This is good, I suppose. Terrain patch late update. Whoa. A 3.5. Okay. It's still insane, I would say. Oops. Gotta mute that one second. Okay. This is not. It's not too bad, probably, but still. Why does it take so much time? Yo, what's up? Yeah, we might... Yeah, we can probably get this one down a bit as well eventually, but yeah, we'll see. Do render loop internal. Okej, faktiskt. Okay, I'm okay with that. Start by removing this one. I wonder if could we do draw render a list? I know that I looked into it quickly yesterday. But I think if we could filter them out in some way. Create render a list. Batch. Layer mask. Now we can't rely on that one. It would be so cool if we could just put all of these objects in one call like this. Rendering configuration. Are you doing terrain shader? Currently we're doing sort of a I refer to it as an activity texture. I don't know, it probably exists a better name for it. But basically we want to keep track of objects occupying terrain positions, so we get some data per object that is occupying the terrain, like the velocity of the object, the strength of the velocity, so both direction and strength, some min-maxing, and a few things like that. And we want this because we want to be able to eventually use it to bend grass and affect water and some other stuff. Yes. I'm very interested in Unity motion vectors. I don't think we want this one right now, but yeah. What more did we have? Override shader path index, render configuration. What the fuck? The layer mask to use for filtering this render list and the rendering layer mask to use for filtering for this render list. Okay. Render queue range. State block. I'm finding some URP unlit tune point light receiving tutorial and saw your video. Oh, nice. Hope it helped. I'm wondering if, like, I mean, we could solve this right now. When we generate this texture, we rely on the command buffer, doing it like this. I wonder. I wonder if all of this maybe it's not too bad. How would it look if we did ×4? Well, let's try this. So we make the data textures 4 times bigger, and I want to try with the same amount of objects. But then again, we're also changing the mesh size here and collider size, so this might not be the best comparison. And then we have this one. Let's go with 100 objects. Pretty fucking cool, honestly. I'm wondering though why sometimes when an object goes out of bounds or outside the environment, then we get errors, and sometimes we don't get anything at all. I wonder why that is. Okay, here we go. And it's when we try to do terrain patch index X. Okay. Terrain subset. Bounds, grid offset, grid delta, grid size. Yeah, okay, so we might get. It's actually, so when we try and get all terrain patch indices, Yeah, we want to double check here so terrain patch indices are inside of bounds, I suppose. No, not entity bounds. Dimension here. That's the full dimension, right? Actually, resolution. Grid resolution, grid sub-resolution. Grid resolution we might want to store here, and you just check. One sec, shouldn't this one... Pretty sure this one is the problem. But yeah, we could check it here as well. Why does it feel like we're doing a truncation again here? That's a little bit weird, isn't it? Yeah, why do we do min here, but a minimum of, yeah, never want it to be, we never want it to be bigger than grid resolution -1. But fuck, yeah, okay, so what I think is happening is this one, max will never be more than grid resolution -1. Minimum will never be less than depends here. Probably never less than 0. But what if this one can probably become negative? So we have a minus. I just want to try, so let's do clamp here. Value min max. Min max. Min max. Probably want to do something similar here as well, I think. Yeah, hopefully we won't get okay, pretty good. What I want to do now is that I actually want to, I talked about it yesterday real quick, but I think that we want to clear the activity texture between renders. or that we actually want to have two textures, or we want to be able to clear some of the data, I assume. Clear random right targets. No. But this one, probably going to use this one later on as well. But let's see here. Clear render target. Clear depth. We don't have a depth. I'm pretty sure. I want to make sure eventually that we don't draw renderer. Terrain patch activity texture. Activity texture. Zero. I want to make sure here that we don't texture unity, that we don't create it with depth. Because we don't care about that. Let's see here. With height depth, number of bits in depth buffer, we say 0 here. So it should be okay. Read write. Yeah, this one we might want to look into as well. Default. We want to do this one. Yeah, we want to do a lot of things here. But I'm starting to think that render texture descriptor, we might want to rely on define everything in one of these eventually, because we're going to use the same. But yeah. Let's see, what more do we have? The color format for the render, yeah. Yes, MIP count. I don't know what the default one is. So let's do render texture resolution 0 ARGB. MIP count. Fuck, I don't know if we want to go -1 on us. I think it's -1 we want to go. Render texture descriptor. Okay, let's go with 0 then. 0. Now we have zero. Fuck me. Is it this one? Read right. Render texture read right. Linear. Okay, do we have something else? Okay. Now I think it's a better option to define a render texture descriptor here actually. Eventually we can probably have one for all of them, but yeah. Render texture descriptor. Yeah, resolution, color format, ARGB 32, depth buffer bits 0, MIP count 0. Fuck, do we not? Why am I not able to do... Oh, is that because... Oh yeah, that sucks. But I definitely want to set a few things here, so let's do... Okay, let's do resolution, render texture, ARGB, depth buffer bits, and MIP count 0, 0. And then we do... I want to set... It's this one I want to set. sRGB is equal to false. I think that's the only thing we want to set. And then let's take this descriptor and put it here. Probably just see, currently we should see a little bit of a different shade, but that's about it. I don't even know if it's visible, but now we're working with pure data, that's good. Or we don't do conversion between, we don't bring it into sRGB. convert it to sRGB. Okay, that's great. But okay, probably wanna. So what I wanted to do as well is to clear it. Clear depth. I think we can just send in false here because we don't really have a depth. Clear color, yes. And background color, color to clear width. Okay, so this is very important. We need to, so when we clear this one, we want to set everything to 0 except for height minimum. That one we want to set to max. So we're probably gonna have 0, 1, 0, 0. Yeah. Terrain base, so we set render target, set view matrix. You probably want to set view matrix here, and then we want to do terrain, command buffer, clear, render target, false, true, new color. Zero, 1, 0, 0, 0. Fuck, we still have this issue. Okay, whatever. But yeah, now we clear it. That's pretty good. Although I wonder, clear render target. Do we not really have stencil rendering clear flags? I just wonder how one would go about doing this if, for instance, we wanted to clear just certain channels, so not all the channels, but just maybe red. But I don't know. Yeah, I want to look into it a bit more, but I need to run AFK real quick first. So I'll be right back. Okay, back. Sorry about that. So, for this texture, I think we're pretty much done. The fact that we're still splitting them up, we're gonna get to the second texture soon, still bothers me a bit. But it's probably okay. Good morning, Harukanan. And I wonder, because, okay, so I want to have one texture here that is more static, pretty much. Let's see, how do I want to... Yeah, so it's pretty much, we have a dynamic activity data, which is height min, height max, direction strength. We can probably animate this one eventually as well. I think that's what I want to do. And then we have some static activity data, and this one, so this one is going to be used for more dynamic type of effects, water, grass bending and such, while this one is more like snow or mud. I just don't really know how I want to... Okay, I just want to try something. I want to experiment a little bit with this one. So let's go height min. So what I would like to do then is I would also want to have a second activity texture here, one that is not going to be cleared. But then I wonder, how would we do set run the target terrain patch activity texture, So we want to do command buffer set render target yeah, so basically want to do this one. So we set multiple render targets. So I wonder how we do it clear render target then. Let's close these. So let's say, where might we have a problem here? Set projection, set view, those two are the same per render target. Here we set multiple render targets, then we do clear render target. This one might be, I think we can probably, fuck, is it clear flags? We wanna, which render targets to clear defined using a bitwise or RTC. This sucks. I don't think we could possibly. Yeah, we're probably gonna clear all render targets if we do it like this. Okay, so that's unfortunate. Yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. It's a problem related to the fact that I would like to render to two different render targets at once, or at the same time, but one of them we want to reset between renders and the other one we don't. But clear render target. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that makes sense. This one is a little bit of a problem. This one is okay. So property draw renderer. Now the best solution is probably to just use one texture, but then I wonder... Clear render target. Or we could do a custom clear but we would have to introduce a would it be temporary? If we introduce our own temporary texture, which we write to and from, texture. Like we could probably do, I wonder how weird this would be. Could do, so at the start of this we copy whatever we have in this one to a temporary render texture. We reuse the other one as much as possible. So we copy everything to this one. And then we blit it back to this one. And here we use some material which we can do whatever the fuck we want here. We could basically make it very dynamic. I don't know, animate the direction, vertices and strength, making them fade out and stuff like that. But we could also do much simpler stuff, like clearing some of the channels but not all of them and so on. Although one blit command per frame per patch, it's rough. It's not only that, it's one blit command and then one copy texture. for both source and dest. If you set on a fast way to put yeah, so I guess it's very, very fast, but I wonder. But let's see here. I'm also thinking it feels like I have some decisions to make, but if we take a look at dynamic activity data, static activity data. Static dynamic. It's more like Sirupong, what's up, what's up? It's more like activity data. I wonder if I want to split it up instead of having it in terms of dynamic and static. Maybe I want to have it like in global and near activity data or something like that, because I'm wondering if we take a look at direction and direction strength. That is probably something we just care about when we want to render stuff close by. Okay. Terrain activity debug material. Do we have? Where do I specify terrain base? Yeah, specify it here. Yeah, terrain activity material. We're gonna add some settings here. Activity output. Let's rename this one to functional shaders activity output. Rename activity dynamic output. Dynamic. As your point, this phase you do, it's optimized code. Currently we are I'm trying to implement what I refer to as an activity texture. It's basically we want to store some of the data of the world in a texture in such a way that we can utilize it to animate stuff later on. So for instance, if an entity is running, we want to be able to store how the entity was running, so we can bend grass or splash water depending on how the entity ran, pretty much. So I'm just in the process of trying to figure out the best possible way to do all of this for my case. Where to store it, when to read it, and on and on and on it goes. So the material here, I also want to specify, let's see here, debug, test flag, terrain visuals. Let's do Yeah, so now I can change this one myself in the editor, so I can switch between if we want to do depends. We still have, so outputting it, we can switch this one, so how we output the data, that's for sure. But how we read back the data, so terrain activity debug shader. Hey, what's up, Rort? Reading input in shaders. I don't know what you mean by that. Terrain activity texture. Yeah, let's maybe just rename this one. Terrain activity texture. Terrain activity data. Yeah, let's rename this one. Terrain activity. Terrain dynamic activity texture, terrain dynamic activity texture, point clamp temp sampler. Yeah, what's up, PG King? Good morning, good morning. It's been a while, how are you? Has it? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, maybe it has. But I'm good, I'm good. How about you? Terrain activity. Fuck, I wanna name it. Here we go. Terrain activity dynamic texture. Dynamic texture, yeah, whatever. And terrain activity data. Height boundary, direction, strength, timestamp. We don't care about timestamp. Let's redo this one a bit. Texture solutions. Struct terrain. Activity dynamic data. RGBA. Okay, something like that. Get terrain activity Get terrain activity dynamic data. We don't need from texture. This UV here, I wanna terrain activity data size. UV scaled and offsetted. So here we have terrain activity, output material. Let's create one. Functional materials, maybe. Okay. What have I... Oh yeah, did I... Terrain patch, yeah, we need to fix this one as well. Terrain activity data. Yeah. Oof. Still not entirely correct. That's weird. Yeah, and then we had activity output, dynamic output. This one should be okay. I don't think we have anything wrong with this one. But we're not getting any... Oh, yeah. It would be nice to use this one here as well. So what do we have? Times scale plus offset. Jesus. Okay, this is good. Also, I want to make it possible, for now at least. This one, I want this one to be optional. Is it anything else I want to be optional here? Set render target. Don't think so. Copy texture. On the GPU, if you set texture is readable to true on both the source and destination, the method also copies pixel data on the CPU. I'm just trying to make sense of this. Barrand, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. Copy texture, render target identifier, source destination. If render target identifier, or if both is readable for texture, is readable, inherit from texture. Yeah, if is readable is true, we copy on the CPU as well. But a render texture only has a data representation on the GPU. And you need to do Texture 2D read pixels to transfer. A render texture only has a data representation of on the GPU. Right. Where did we have it? But fuck, did I forget it? Okay. Copy texture. Now I might be jumping between this, but okay. But still, I'm not entirely sure about this one. If render texture only being available on this GPU, render texture. So if both of these are true, and we copy the pixels on the CPU. Where is this stored? Yo, what's up, Harry-O? Why copy texture? No, I'm just thinking about the future. That's not something we're gonna do right now. I've been thinking about taking the velocity vectors we have and animate them eventually. And I'm just thinking about different ways of doing that. And if we wanna, and just looking through Command Buffer API, and then I just found this one, which is quite interesting, but I'm just trying to understand it because it doesn't make much sense to me. But yeah, so this is not something I'm gonna do now. I'm just looking for my different options for the future. Just found this to be a little bit weird. And also, Harry-O, I don't know if you were here earlier during the stream, but one thing, I might have misunderstood this. But let's see here. Renderer set material property block. I don't know exactly where I read it, or I can't find it now and I don't have that much time, but pretty much set property block the way we did it here, entity renderer set property block and this property block. This one copies this one, so instead of having one property block per entity, we opted to have one property block on terrain base instead. But yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, I gotta run now. And as I mentioned on my Discord today, this is the last stream this year for me. Let's see, Hario, instancing could be pretty cool, but it would be only for mesh filters, not skin renderers. Yeah. I added an example to my GitHub project. Oh, we'll definitely look it through after the stream. Yes, PG King. So, yeah, unfortunately, I won't have the time slots to properly stream until next year, and that's why this stream is my last for this year. I would have liked to have things a little bit better wrapped up when I'm taking a break like this. But yeah, sometimes you can't get everything you want right. So, a short little break. I will post on my Discord for when I will be back. It will probably be the 6th of January or something like that. I don't know, but I will post on Discord. So yeah, other than that, thank you so much for watching, for following this year. Appreciate it. Have a great Christmas and New Year, and hopefully I will see you next year. Peace.